Good afternoon everyone. I am Neha Khanna, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Juridical Sciences, Rama University. Today I am here to discuss about the contract law, that is contract of bailment. Contract of bailment is discussed under Indian Contract Act 1872 under section 148. So, what do you mean by contract of bailment? What does the word bailment means? Bailment means delivery of goods by one person to the another for some purpose upon the contract that when it has been accomplished be returned or disposed according to the directions of the person delivering the same. So, here bailment means when a particular person delivers some sort of goods to any other person for some purpose, and after that purpose is completed or it has been accomplished, which means done, then those particular products or the goods had to be returned back to the person delivering the same or to be disposed of accordingly as asked by the person who is delivering the goods. Now, the bailment, under the contract of bailment, there are two parties involved, which means that bailment is two-partite contract in which two parties are involved. Those two parties are bailer, first is bailer, second is bailee. Bailer is the person who is delivering the goods to the other person and the other person is bailee. So, the bailer, let's take an example. When X is giving a piece of cloth to Y for stitching, here X is bailer and Y is bailee, and this whole is the contract of bailment. Why? Because the cloth is given for some particular purpose, that is for stitching the cloth according to this definition, and when the cloth is stitched, then Y, that is bailee, will return that good to X, that is bailer, after accomplishing the purpose for which the goods had been delivered. Now, next let's take next example. For example, Y rent his car to X for a ride. Here Y is also a bailer because he is giving his car or his goods to X for some particular purpose. The purpose here is for riding, for going on a vacation or for riding, etc. And when that particular purpose is completed or accomplished, that particular product, car or good would be given back by the bailee to the bailer. Now, next we had to learn the essentials of contract of bailment. So, the contract of bailment first provides the delivery of goods. There must be delivery of goods. Now, delivery of goods is of two types. This is the first essential, delivery of goods. The delivery of goods is of two types. First is actual, second is constructive. So, in these two ways, the bailer can deliver the goods to the bailee. So, the actual delivery means when there is physical handling of any particular goods to the bailee. For example, in this case, X is handling the cloth to Y, the physical handling over the goods by X to Y. This is known as actual delivery, in which, for example, if we can take new example that X is giving his watch to Y for repairing. So, here repairing is a particular purpose and X is delivering his watch to Y. It is the form of actual delivery in which the physical handing over of the goods is being done. Now, what the constructive delivery is, the example which we had taken, this, the car one. in which Y is renting his car to X for a ride. Here Y is not handling a car to X as a physical handling. Rather, Y is giving only the keys of the car to X. This is known as the constructive delivery. For example, if we have a warehouse and in warehouse we have so much of goods there, stored in there. So, we want those goods to be delivered to Bailey. Now, the baler will not take all the goods out of the warehouse and would unload in the truck and would give Bailey or deliver the goods to the Bailey. Rather, baler would provide the keys of that warehouse to the Bailey in case of the delivery of the goods, and when that when that purpose would be completed, those goods would be returned back after the accomplishment of the work or being disposed of according to the directions of the person given. Now, second essential is for some particular purpose. So, the purpose should be there. Giving anything without any purpose will not form the contract of bailment. So, the purpose needs to be there. For example, in these cases we have taken, in first case there was stitching of a cloth, which is a work. Second, the riding for riding, which is also a purpose. In third example, in which we are giving a watch, a baler is giving a watch to repair to a Bailey, which was also having some sort of purpose attached with the contract. And whenever there is no purpose attached with the contract, that would not be termed as a contract of bailment. Next, third essential is to return back. When the goods is being done, when the purpose has been done, the goods have been delivered and the purpose is accomplished or the purpose is being done. Thereupon, the Bailey, here the duty will arise of the Bailey. Bailey will return those particular goods to baler again, or he may dispose of accordingly to the directions of the person delivering the same, which means that if X is providing delivering his cloth to Y for stitching, here Y, after completing the purpose, had to return the good to X, or we can say can dispose according to the directions given by X. If X will say that don't give the stitched cloth to me, rather provide this to B, here Y will then provide the stitched cloth to B. For example, means disposing according to the directions of the same. Now we had to discuss the types of bailment. The contract of bailment is having two types. First is gratuitous bailment, second is non-gratuitous bailment. Gratuitous bailment means when there is no need of any reward or any money. For example, X is lending his book to Y, and Y is his friend. So, here X is only lending a book to Y for a reading, purpose is completed, delivery of goods is completed, Y will return this book after reading to X. But what is missing here? The reward, means the amount which the X had to or Y had to pay to the other person. So, this is known as gratuitous bailment, where there is no need of any reward. The particular thing is given out of gratitude. Gratuitously, a particular person under a friendship, love or affection, a particular person is delivering a particular goods to the other person. Here also X would be the baler and Y is the bailee. One thing which is not there is the reward, which is very much important in the gratuitous bailment. Second is non-gratuitous bailment, which means just the opposite of gratuitous bailment, in which the reward is must. Say for the example we have taken earlier, first the stitching cloth. A has given the cloth to B for stitching. Here B had to return the cloth after stitching to A, and A had to pay the amount which he owed to B for stitching his cloth. Secondly, X giving his watch to Y for repairing. After repairing, when Y will return his watch to X, that is baler, the baler had to pay a amount or the reward to Y for the repairing done on his watch. Third, if X is house as a rent to Y. Now here also what the Y had to provide a reward in case of non-gratuitous bailment, where there is no need of any gratitude, no love or no affection. In case of gratuitous bailment, what we have seen that the particular person is giving something, is delivering something for some purpose but without any reward. Here also, here in non-gratuitous bailment, the particular person, or we can say bailer, is delivering the goods to B, that is bailee, for some reward, which is known as the non-gratuitous bailment. So we have already discussed that under the contract of bailment, there are two parties involved in this contract, that is the bailer and the bailee. Now we had to discuss the rights and duties of both the parties involved in this type of contract. First, we will discuss the bailer's duties. The bailer's first duty is to disclose the faults in the goods bailed. When A will deliver any good to B, that is the bailee, A had to disclose all the faults in the goods which will affect the bailee. For example, if A is giving or A is lending his car to B, now A has to tell that if the car's brake was failed or the car steering is weak or something like that. Because in case of any fault, in case of anything, the bailee had to take the charge. Therefore, it's the duty, the very first duty of the bailer to disclose the faults in the good bailed. Second duty is to pay necessary expenses in case of non-gratuitous bailment. We have already discussed the non-gratuitous part of the bailment, which means that the reward has to be given. In gratuitous bailment, the reward has not to be given, the lending of the bookcase, but in this, the non-gratuitous bailment, the expenses had to be given. So it's the bailer duty. The bailer is the person who is delivering the goods. Now the bailer has the duty to pay the necessary expenses after accomplishment of the purpose to the bailee. The rights of the bailer are, the first right is right to claim the goods back. So the very much definition which we have discussed earlier provides that after the purpose is completed, the goods had to be returned back to the bailer. So here the right of the bailer is to get the returned goods back after the completing purpose. The second right is right to claim the increase or profit. So to understand this right, we need to take an example that if X is going out of station and he gave his dog to Y to take care of. After X come, after you can say after a month or 2 months, Y had taken care of dog, and after when X will come, maybe a dog is having a puppy with him. The puppy's right would also be of the bailer because the dog is of the bailer. Therefore, this is the right of the bailer that to claim the increase of profit. This is an increase and the profit in the goods bailed. The particular thing has been multiplied, has been increased. So on that increased thing also, the right is on to the bailer. Third very much right of the bailer is right to claim damages for mixing the goods. Here we will discuss among the duties of the bailee that the bailee, when the goods are delivered by the bailer to the bailee had not to mix the goods bailed to his goods. Therefore, if the bailee mix his goods with the bailer's goods, the damages can be claimed by the bailer in case of that. The duties of the bailee, the first duty of the bailee is reasonable care. When the goods are being bailed by the bailer to the bailee, in this case, the reasonable care must be taken care by the bailee. For example, the dog case, the dog has to be taken care by the bailee. Or we can say watch example, in which we have done that the watch is given by X to Y, the bailer to bailee for repairing. Now there the watch has to be taken reasonable care by the bailee. The second duty is no authorized use of goods. When a particular person, when the bailee is giving his watch for repairing to bailee, the bailee has no right to use unauthorizedly the goods bailed to him. Third, not mixing of the goods. This is the duty of the bailee and this was a right of the bailer. When bailee, the general thing is bailee can't mix his goods with the goods bailed, But if he does so, then bailor's rights emerges, and now he will have the right to claim what? The damages of the mixing the goods. Next is to return the goods. Bailee has the duty to return the goods after the purpose is completed. Bailee has the duty to return the increase of profit. That same example, dog and puppy one. What happened? The bailee will have the duty to return the puppy and as well as the dog to the bailor. The bailee's rights are, first right is right to receive reward. Now, it is in case when it is non-gratuitous bailment, the bailee has the right to receive the reward of anything for the purpose which he had done. For example, if he has repaired the watch given by the bailor, in that case the right emerges of the bailee that he had to receive certain kind of reward for repairing that particular watch. Or if bailee is stitching some type of clothes that will belong to A, here also bailee has a right to receive the reward. Second right is right to claim damages in case of non-disclosure of faults. So here the first duty of the bailor was to disclose the faults in the goods bail. For example, we have taken the example of car. If X, that is the bailor, has bailed his goods or his car to bailee and he has not told that its brakes are failed or his steering is weak, then the damage would be caused to the bailee, and in that case the bailee's right is there that in case if he receives any type of damages because of the non-disclosure of faults in the goods bail, then he will have the very much right to demand or to claim the damages from the bailor. The last topic is termination of bailment. Termination of bailment means when the contract of bailment would be terminated, or we can say can come to an end. So, three parts are there. First is on the purpose, means when the purpose is completed, when the cloth is stitched, the contract of bailment would be completed. Second, when the watch is being repaired, it has been completed. So, when the purpose is accomplished, the contract of bailment would come to an end. Second, death of bailor or bailee. When there is the death of any particular person, be it bailor or bailee, the contract of bailment would automatically come to an end. The termination of bailment is discussed under section 153. Under section 153 of the Indian Contract Act. So, that's all for the contract of bailment. So, finally, we have discussed the contract of bailment in detail, and I hope you all have enjoyed this lecture. Thank you.